They tried to put us in middle, and we said no.
I don't belong here.
I was like, I want to
can't
pass
do
the
this.
ball.
Yeah.
And then we were outside, and
And then I
then
couldn't
I
pass the ball
couldn't pass the ball.
enough.
So we went to the right
I
side,
got
both of
booted
us.
to the end line and serve receive.
I can't take anything seriously. I'm
I know,
really
yeah.
sorry. It's literally nothing. I
Okay. Hey guys, first episode. What's up, listeners?
Hello everyone. Welcome to the Set Her Up podcast. So excited to be here.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be talking about a lot of things volleyball, NCAA, pro leagues, plural, because there are two this year. It's going to be really interesting.
There are.
So let's dive right in.
Yeah, so my name's Madeline.
I'm Erin,
We're sisters, if you can
Penn
tell.
Stanley's sister.
Yeah, we
But
are.
yeah.
So yeah, we're here to talk about everything volleyball, women's volleyball, and you can't talk women's volleyball without talking about the NCAA final that happened yesterday.
Insane.
And
Insane. That's the only words I have. Like, I mean, the whole game. Penn State and Louisville are great teams. Penn State, they played their heart out. So did Louisville. But that second set, I mean, the announcer kept saying that they had like 10, it was the 10th game point for Penn State, the 11th. I was like, I don't even know how this happened. And then I look back, they were at 24-19 and Louisville came back and won the set.
yeah, and I have been saying that kind of like prior to it. When playoffs started, I was like, I just want because okay, let's be a little real. Last year, a lot of build up. I like this year I just want a really good game to watch. Something that was fun to watch, something that will get like people really into the sport. And I thought what better way to do that than like a crazy comeback. So I was kind of wishing for something like that to happen during the playoffs, and it did. And we made an initial bracket and we had actually a Battle of the Pennsylvanias, Pitt and Penn in the final bracket. Um, but I was really happy Louisville made it in.
Me too. We were rooting
I think
for
we
Louisville.
were.
People asked me, and I always said for the Final Four that I was rooting for Pitt and Penn, and then I'm so indecisive because then watching Nebraska and Louisville, I'm like, oh my God, like they're so fun. All the teams are fun to watch.
Hmm.
It's hard to root for a certain team, but watching them, I went in rooting for Penn, and then I was like, but Louisville, and I did tear up when Anna DeVere interviewed in the beginning, and she
Yeah.
was crying. I cried with her.
Hmm.
Ugh, she's such a
Yeah.
difference maker and an amazing player. So it's just
Hmm.
like so sad to see her out for her last game.
Yeah. And I could have found like a reason. I was like, well, I'm rooting for Penn State because they're coach and they're Penn State and everything they've been through this season. Louisville has almost like has just been there for the past few years, never made it all the way.
Yeah.
But like right there, Nebraska has done so much for women's
Yeah.
sports.
Hmm.
And Pitt, I just love that team and I
Yeah.
did really want
Uh-huh.
Pitt to win because same thing,
Yeah.
same thing as Louisville, same position where
They've been in the
just
Final Four for the
yeah.
past few years and just
So
can't
really
can't figure it out. No, I'm kidding.
I wanted all of them to win.
Yeah.
I wish they all
I know. But it was a great game. Penn State did deserve that win, and knowing their story,
yeah, yeah.
the not being in the championship for the past 10 years and then coming back to win it. I didn't hear a lot about them this season, but they're an amazing team. And then to come back and win it all, especially when their coach was diagnosed with cancer, stage 2 breast cancer in September. So it's just really cool to see their team's story and how much they've grown and how they were able to come up on top. That's really cool.
Mhm.
Um, Especially when this is the first woman coach to win a national championship,
Yeah.
which isn't it's just an insane concept at all. I think
Hmm.
there were only a few times a woman coach was even in the championship, like throughout the history of
Hmm.
volleyball. I think what was it, Miami or Florida?
Yeah, I
FSU?
think Florida.
FSU
No,
twice.
University of Florida. Mary Wise. That coach. That's the one you're talking
Oh,
about. The
yeah,
other
yeah,
woman
yeah,
coach, yeah.
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 And who else?
I think and those two coaches. I mean, I was just surprised because it like I saw I didn't know that. And I just kept seeing things like at first I
Yeah.
thought it was just like, oh, first time two women are coaching or like a woman when they said women guaranteed, I just assumed like, oh, it's a women's guaranteed win because there's two women playing each other. I didn't know it was like the first time a
Yeah.
woman coach was gonna win ever.
And just to know that it was guaranteed too, both
Yeah.
coaches being women were just like
Yeah.
really
And the Louisville
exciting.
coach was talking about how that kind of takes pressure off a little bit and just lets them play, so it was cool.
Yeah.
But I do remember our older sister also played, and I don't know, I didn't take the sport that seriously or appreciate enough when I
Me
was
either.
little. I mean, when I was like 12 in 2014, but our older sister played, and I remember like Penn State was the big
Mhm.
team, and since like I've taken it more seriously and grown a lot of appreciation for the sport, especially watching it. Nebraska has been that team, I think.
For sure.
So it was just like cool for them to make a comeback and be like, yeah, we are Penn State.
Mhm.
We are that team.
Yeah.
So,
And we really get to know the players as we watch more and more games. And we're really lucky because now, after their collegiate careers, we're going to be able to see them in these professional leagues and
mhm.
growing up, growing stronger in the game. And as the game grows, it's going to be cool. They're getting so much more exposure. So last year we had only PVF, Pro Volleyball Federation, or
Wait, can
yeah.
we just talk about the second set of that Louisville game? Because I'm not over it yet.
Okay. What do you want to say?
I want to say that because we were rooting, well, I was rooting for Louisville. She was too, but we were happy either way. But that second set,
We were jumping.
that, yeah, after
Shitting my pants,
Louisville won
literally.
that is like, no matter like who won that game, that's all I wanted from that. And
Yeah.
like the back and forth, the crazy plays, the pancake play. Okay, here's what happened. We were watching that. She went to the bathroom and she didn't want to miss any points, so she was in the bathroom and she started watching it on her phone, which is like a few seconds in front of the game that I was watching. And then she finished the set in there. So she would just hear me screaming from the
And I
bathroom.
was
She would
like,
just
I
hear me,
already
and
watched
she was like, I already
it.
watched it.
I didn't say anything,
And
but I was like, I know.
and so I was basically watching it alone. And she finally came out like what? I don't know what the score was. But Elena Scott's like was no, it was someone else's pancake. Maybe Charity Looper's
Eh,
pancake. And then
was it Sophia
Elena Scott
Maldonado?
still got it
I
over.
think it was Sophia Maldonado. I think
Oh
Charity was in the
my
front row.
gosh,
Somebody.
that was
It's
insane. I was like,
they
I
lost a
don't
point on
know.
that though,
That might have
but
been the happiest I've ever been in my
it
life.
was really exciting.
Um, just I wish they could have like pulled it out the other sets and done that same thing, but
Yeah.
Penn State was just like unstoppable. Like Jess Merzick is a beast.
Yeah. I mean, some of the shots she
And
hit were just insane. Like,
there was that one point, I want to say it was the third set, pretty early in the third set, where she didn't really have a block and she crushed the ball down the line. And I think the announcer said something like she's got the other team scared. And we looked at each other, we were like, we're scared.
I'm scared. And
She was insane. Okay. I
yeah,
just wanted to
and their defense. Jillian Grimes, I enjoyed watching her all season.
Mhm.
Every single Penn State game, I was just in awe of her and how she
She was
played.
so good.
I mean,
I
it's her
mean,
energy too. Like she really brings up this whole
mhm.
team. She's so much fun to watch.
Yeah, Bear, like Elena
Yeah,
Scott did a great job. But yeah, no,
amazing.
Bear, I was
Honestly,
like super impressed.
yeah. But you have to wonder what kind of game it would have been if Anna DeVere was in. I mean,
That's true.
she's an amazing player, obviously, and she's been one of the standout players for Louisville during her whole entire career. So you have to wonder what would have happened a little bit. But Penn State was pretty dominant during the whole game. Peyton Peterson, though, I mean, all of
Yeah.
her defensive plays, I was in shock. I was like, she just
And her
got up, and
serving.
her serving,
Like
and she ate.
the nerves someone has to feel. Like she just handled that beautifully, so
Mhm.
classy and yes, I got teared up with Anna DeVere's interview, but also like for Peyton Peterson because that is just such like a special moment.
Yeah. They actually said like her
It's
Anna DeVere's mom was saying like asked how she felt and she was like I'm happy for the team like I'm
Hmm.
excited. She didn't really mention anything about being upset for Anna, which I'm sure she was obviously upset for her
Yeah.
daughter, but it's really cool to see like the sportsmanship that was shown and really the team coming together. That just goes to show how much of a packed roster Louisville has and
Yeah.
how they're all
Depth on their
amazing
bench.
athletes.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
yeah.
But hopefully Anna DeBeer will be okay for the PPF season because she has been drafted. And so basically if you watch that game and you're like, I want to watch more, there's two leagues. So we'll start with last year, the PVF league, because we did watch a bit of that. We were super excited.
Mhm.
We actually got the idea for this podcast last year,
It
and we told our
was a year
family.
in the making.
Yeah.
So,
It's
yeah.
been just like sitting in our brains for a year, but we're finally here. We got like our makeshift setup. It's kind of like this was a mess to get set up, but we did it.
It's temporary. We'll get like better quality
Yeah,
and
it's
stuff.
temporary.
But yeah, no. PVF last year, we watched a few games. Very happy that there's professional volleyball, obviously. I feel like, okay, let's do a little pros and cons. Pro is professional volleyball. And I got to like know a lot about players that I
Hmm.
didn't know a lot about during their collegiate careers or if they, played in other leagues. I feel like I learned more about players and it was
Hmm.
really
A
cool to
lot of
see a
players
bunch of
from
players.
overseas.
Yeah, yeah. And like players from different colleges playing together was really cool. I feel like it was hard to watch sometimes with the quality, and I just feel like the quality wasn't what I'd anticipated or hoped, and it kind of was a letdown in that aspect.
Hmm.
Take that with a grain of salt.
You're a little bit harder on it than I am, I think. Like
Mhm.
I do get it.
Mhm.
I do think another pro is that it was like all on YouTube.
Mhm.
Like,
Yes.
and I think it said somewhere they had like 5,000 people averaged per at in
Mhm.
person at these games, like 400,000 fans. So
That's pretty cool.
yeah, it broke records. I
Yeah.
mean,
And it's still growing. That was
hmm
just the beginning,
and
so.
if you look at it compared to the leagues overseas, I mean, the amount of fans it's gotten is like, I mean, you could watch. I see the volleyball. No,
Yeah.
no knock on the leagues in Europe. I mean, any women's league is incredible, but it does make me kind of sad sometimes watching and there's like no fans there.
Yeah.
Because you need fans for
Mhm.
energy. Even that's also a thing. Okay, sorry. I'm gonna go back to NCAA because watching the Nebraska Wisconsin game, that was so fun. And you could feel the energy from the
Yeah.
fans in the game. You could hear them. You can like see
Not
how
even in
it
their
really,
hometown, like traveling with
yeah,
them.
you could
Insane.
see how it like really impacts the game for the
Oh
better.
my, and
And
the Penn State Nebraska game, the second to last game for Nebraska of the
mhm,
like season playing. Penn State won that game, and the atmosphere in Penn State I feel like is always just insane. Like
mhm, yeah, they
there's so much
notorious for great
school
fans.
spirit and fans there that I feel like that really carries their
Hmm.
team. And seeing all those fans travel out to Louisville to see them play in the championship
Hmm.
is
Yeah,
just insane.
I agree.
I've said insane like 10 times. We're gonna do a count.
But yeah, so I hope like that just keeps growing. I mean, I think this year will be better. I mean, it was the first season.
Mhm.
It, there's things to work out. I think the broadcasting is going to be a little bit different. I don't believe all the games are going to be on YouTube.
Mhm.
I think it's going to be more. I know there are 20 games on like the CBS Sports networking app, kind of like a streaming service. And then one will be like on TV, which will actually be the first women's pro league that will be on television, that will be televised. That's pretty cool. And then 12 matches on like Fox Sports. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, we'll definitely be watching as many as we can.
Yeah, I think the PVF League starts January 9th, and League One volleyball, which is new this year, starts January 8th.
Hmm.
So we'll have lots of volleyball to
Yeah.
watch this winter.
It's interesting that because that also might make the leagues better because now they kind of have to compete
Yeah.
between each other to see. I think that the League One, because they are different, like structurally, the two leagues. I think that PVF is more similar to like an NBA type of thing, and League One is more similar to the um international volleyball leagues
Mm.
that you see, like Volleyball Europe
Mhm.
and things like that. But yeah, I'm definitely excited to see because they have outstanding players on both leagues.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I mean the draft, even like hearing what every team picked for their drafts, it's so exciting to see all these players coming from college,
mhm.
um, switching teams, seeing the new lineups. Um, really exciting.
Yeah, so last year we just actually rewatched the final from the PPF League. So it was Co no, Omaha and
Grand
Grand
Rapids.
Rapids. And so if you don't, is Claire Chelsea still playing?
Hmm. Let me look.
I don't think she is.
Uh,
Yeah, look it up.
Click around where you at.
Claire Chelsea, who played at Louisville, I hope I'm saying both Louisville, who played at Louisville, and I hope I'm saying Chelsea right. Look at her Instagram. Sorry, guys.
Oh shoot. T.
Dang.
She's with
So
Lee.
Claire Chelsea played at PBF. She was on Grand Rapids, and she played at Louisville. She's an outstanding player. She's pretty similar to Anna DeBeer. I definitely see a lot of similarities
Yeah.
in the way that they play. And then
So she's going to
they
Madison
kind of look like,
League
yeah,
One.
she's going to LOVB.
So
We
she'll
have
be
a
playing
few
yeah.
people switching leagues. You also have Asia O'Neal, who won the championship, the NCAA championship, the past 2 years. She was playing in the PVF. For
Sure.
what team? Oh my gosh, I can't even remember.
Ugh.
But she's switching to LOVB with a ton of other Texas
The
players.
primetime Texas team,
Yeah.
like that won two national national championships.
Yeah, I mean, give or take a few players. Zoe
Yeah.
Fleck wasn't on it the second
Yeah.
time.
Neither was Logan Nicholson. But I mean,
Yeah.
your basic like insane players.
Yeah.
Insane. Um, yeah.
Are on all Houston, right? Houston or Austin? One of the Texas teams. They have two teams in Austin.
Austin.
So the PVF has 8 teams. You know, if you're not familiar, PVF has 8 teams. LOVB is coming out with 6 teams. So PVF, I believe, has Omaha, Atlanta, Grand Rapids, Vegas, San Diego,
Valkyries.
Orlando. Did I say Columbus? Indiana? I think I said that one. Um, and still has phenomenal players. Brooke Nunneveller, who played at Oregon, she was on Omaha, who won. They beat Grand Rapids, by the way, if I didn't already say that. And she was phenomenal.
One of the
Yeah,
most fun
she was-
players to watch in the league.
Yeah. And she was fun to
Everything
watch
she
at
did was
Oregon.
insane. Like every
Yeah.
hit she had was a
Mhm.
kill, insane defense. So
Yep.
she was really cool to watch. And now
She
she's where?
was. I like Oregon too. They've been a team that has been up there,
Yeah.
but
Is
not
she
been able
still
to
at
make it all the way. Yeah, she's still at Omaha. And now she's going to be playing with kind of a stacked team, right?
Yeah.
Allie Batenhurst played at Nebraska. She played at USC this past year. She's coming back to Omaha. I believe she's from Omaha,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
She's a Nebraska girl.
Yeah.
And Lindsay Krause, who's also on Nebraska.
Yeah. Seeing her with her old teammate is gonna be really, really cool.
Yeah, and Vasquez Gomez, who was on Pitt. So you have what? 3 players. Oh, so Kendra Wade too, who was in Creighton, who was a lot of fun to watch. Who did? Oh, they beat Texas. That game was a lot of fun to watch as well.
Yeah.
I do agree. A lot of the media coverage was treating it as if Creighton was like an underdog, even though they were seated higher than Texas. And I get it, because Texas did win the past 2 years, but I was like, I mean,
Creighton was,
Yeah,
yeah.
they're great and they're a good school. I mean, they're Nebraska and Nebraska's a volleyball state. So
Yeah.
what other teams do we have? Yeah, just all three phenomenal player. We're wondering, we would love to see because a player we love, Maldonado Diaz, who played on Louisville, love to see where she goes. One of your favorite players graduated,
Julia Orville.
Julia Orzel, and seems like neither of them.
Were drafted or going anywhere. So, I mean, neither one of them
Yeah,
are
I
from
don't know.
America. So, I mean, they could be going to play on,
Yeah,
international teams or anything, but
yeah.
hopefully they choose to stay in America
Mm-hmm.
because that would be really fun to watch.
Yeah, I agree.
Stay.
Yeah, I think especially Maldonado Diaz, we read another reason that I think, at least for me, I wanted to do this podcast again is we read Madison Skinner's ESPN article, and it was just like, I don't know, I think I cried reading it. Like I loved it. I love her. I don't know how you couldn't. Honestly, there's not really a player where I'm like, I don't love them. Like
Yeah.
all these women are just incredible
Yeah.
and doing so much. So I can just cry and think about all of them.
Yeah.
But I loved reading her article, and you were saying she's drafted as an opposite for. Did you find out Houston or Austin? I think it's
Austin.
Austin.
Or Madison Skinner.
Yeah.
Austin.
Okay, Austin. Drafted as an opposite. And we were saying, because in her article, she said she started playing soccer, and both of us grew up playing soccer. We had the soccer to volleyball pipeline, and then we're both tall. You're, I'm 5'10".
6'1", 6 foot.
And they tried to put us in middle, and we said no.
I don't belong here.
I was like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
And then we were outsides.
And then I couldn't pass
I couldn't
well enough.
So we went to the right
So I
side,
got booted to the end line and serve receive.
So
I
it's
guess that's
really
happening
like Madison Skinner's like following in our footsteps.
Yeah,
It's
bro.
yeah, it's like a fan. I'm kidding. Anywhere. And I'm not saying that she can't pass. I think she's a phenomenal passer. But it will be fun to see her on the right side. I mean, she was on the right side for the national team. So
yeah. That's another thing too, like seeing all these amazing players come from NCAA, huge D1 teams, and they're on the starting lineup, could not play in these professional leagues. We have some amazing players. Jordan Larson, where's she? Jordan Larson's playing in League One, and she's playing with like really cool people. I have to look this up, but I mean, she's just an example of one amazing player who like played in college years ago. There's so many people like that these amazing people we're seeing coming out of college right now could not even touch the court, which is an insane concept.
Yeah. And there are a lot of Olympians on the Olympics this year. Also so much fun to watch. But there are a lot of Olympians in this League One, but you do have Morgan Hens, who is phenomenal. Like, I mean, one of the biggest liberos. She played last year and she's playing again at, I believe, Atlanta, right?
Yeah.
And she's just phenomenal.
Atlanta vibe. With Leah Edmond. Wow.
Merritt Beeson.
Oh my gosh.
Incredible. Love Merritt Beeson. She's such a amazing player.
Yeah, so seeing these like people playing together after like hearing about these amazing players from different teams is going to be cool to see them on the same court as teammates. And Elena Scott, Anna DeBeer, still playing together on Indiana Ignite.
And then you have Charity Looper and Cameron Hanna both playing on the same team on Vegas Throw. Incredible. And I also have to say, because I have a favorite player and I want to give her flowers because I think she's incredible. And she's talk about like a fun player to watch. Jillian Gillen deserves her flowers. I love watching her so much. She's from Arkansas. They made it to the Elite Eight. She led her team to the Elite Eight last year. Phenomenal player. She's so fun to watch. She's an undersized outside, and she puts her heart into every single swing that she gives, and I love her so much. She's a little firecracker, and she's so much fun to watch. And her teammate from Arkansas also got drafted to Atlanta, Taylor Head,
It's
and
really
she's fun to
cool.
watch too.
Yeah, you're very passionate about
I
Jill
love Jill
Gallon.
Gillen.
Ever since Arkansas, like 2 years ago, you
Last
just,
year. No,
well,
2 years ago.
2 years?
2 years ago. Love Jill
Amazing.
Gillen. So fun to watch.
What was it last year?
No, because she played. No, it was last year. Yeah. Um, who else? Who else? So many players. So many amazing players. Jess Merzick was like what, a sixth round pick? Which fifth round? Six. I don't know.
Fifth?
Crazy. I mean, like,
Yeah. And
she's insane.
yeah.
Two more players I also love. Both from Oregon. Katie. No, oh my gosh, that's not. I keep seeing Kate Georgiadis. Kate Georgiadis. Okay. And I'm like, oh, where do I know her from? And then I look her up. I'm like, I don't really recall seeing that many Houston games. I think she's from Houston. And I remember it's that crazy play where the libero jumped over the table. That
Yeah.
was like all over social media. It's her. And that's how I know her name. And she's on Columbus Fury. So fun to watch.
See a lot more plays like that, I'm sure, in the professional
Yeah.
leagues.
And then two more players I love from Oregon, Georgia Murphy. That's where I was getting confused on the Georgia part, and Hannah Pukis. Although Hannah Pukis didn't really play much in the PBF last year. We'll see if that changes this year. But what team? I think they're both still at Orlando. Yeah, Orlando. No, Hannah Pukis wasn't last year. She was on Vegas. But they were fun to watch in playoffs. So I'm hoping this year we just see that kind of same level of play that not the same level, because it's obviously a high level. Um, I just like those longer rallies, those more like,
Yeah.
a little bit more heart and like hustle in the games.
Yeah. Although I'm wondering if, I mean, there's a difference with NCAA and professional, even though NCAA is such a high level. I feel like professional is taking it to the next level, where we could see a lot shorter rallies that are just insane kills, and that it's impossible to get it up.
Yeah.
More like men's volleyball, where
Yeah.
like they just get insane kills that nobody can touch. I wonder if it's going to be more like that, or if
Yeah.
the defense is going to be so much more intense that it's just
Yeah.
like longer and more insane
Yeah.
rallies. So
I mean, yeah, that is like a common thing people bring up when comparing men and women's volleyball, that like the women's is more fun because it has longer rallies. I've heard that a lot.
So we'll have to
Yeah.
see though. I'm sure there'll be a mix of both, because we see crazy kills and long rallies.
Yeah.
As is. So
Yeah. Just so excited. I mean, and that's not to knock the play that we saw in the PBF last year, because I thought
yeah,
the
not at all.
game, such a high level, and it was fun to watch. I mean, it
Yeah.
wasn't like we turned it off. We watched the whole thing. It was a fun game to watch. Just I guess seeing more people watching it, more energy surrounding it. And maybe I think there might be, because there is an $1 million prize money for the team that wins. So, there's incentive, of course, but we'll see if that's like even more now because they're competing with another league.
Yeah, and the Omaha Supernovas got that now. I wonder if they're gonna come out with like, cool jerseys, like a bunch of like cool marketing.
I will say, I really like the LOVP jerseys.
Me too. And I feel like their media and marketing online has been pretty cool.
Yeah.
Although I saw on Allie Battenhorst's TikTok and everything that they seem to have pretty cool media day planned.
Yeah.
They're in like a space museum or something, which goes with their supernova vibes. So
I just wish like the image I see in my mind of the PBF is like, I just wish it was like
blown out more.
more explosive. Like I
Yeah.
feel like the colors are all a little bit dull.
Yeah.
It's like I need more bang.
Yeah.
I don't know
Which
if that
hopefully
makes
we'll get
sense.
that
I
this
can't
year. You're right. It gives an
Yeah.
incentive with competition now to,
Mhm.
step it up. So
Yeah.
we're gonna see.
We will see, and we'll get back to you guys. We're gonna be commenting on everything. We're gonna watch as much as we can. Hopefully, I mean, everything, right?
Everything. Not missing a thing.
Yeah.
We're gonna be coming out with the weekly episodes, updating you all on the new, and yeah.
Yeah, find us on TikTok, on Instagram at Set Her Up
Set her up
Pod.
pod.
And that's all we have for today. We hope you all have a super happy holiday season. And
Legitness. Yeah.
that's not gonna be our thing. You'll never hear us say that again.
No.
But yeah. Love you all. Thanks for watching. That's so nice of y'all. All right. Bye.
Bye.